The all-new '08 Taurus receives a 5-star safety rating in virtually every category tested. And I guess for a lot of us, we've come to expect that. But how do those conclusions get reached? Well, it's referred to as layers of safety. See, safety can't be bolted on. I realize some try, but in the end, Ford believes you have to build it in. And boy, do they take that piece seriously. For them, it starts with the body structure. I know that seems like an odd place, but remember, all the safety features that we talk about are actually attached to or part of the entire structure of the vehicle. Should you experience a frontal crash in a Taurus, you would like the body to go to work for you. And to that end, you're going to love the design work. In this immediate area, actually fairly low, you've got what they call an 8-sided frame rail. Literally structure that comes up forward on both sides of the vehicle that have 8 different sides, all designed to take impact masses and control the rate of decel and eat that kinetic energy. Beyond that, should it really get serious, and particularly in the case of a side impact, you've got a thing referred to as high sill rails. Now, frankly, this wouldn't have been much of a topic a few years ago because no one would have cared. But since we broke ground working with our Volvo contingents, guess what? We've learned if you bring these sides of the unibody up higher, you gain more structural strength and do a better job of protecting the occupants in a side impact. We've had a thing you may have seen in the brochure referred to as space engineering. Well, that's just a fancy slogan. That really is engineering. What we're talking about, particularly in a side impact, is rails designed to work in the lateral. So again, more strength and more control of mass on a side impact. Now, the space part of it really does more reflect on the fact that by having that rail come across the interior of the vehicle, particularly behind the driver and passenger seat up front, well, guess what? We actually elevate the seats. That gives us that convenient, in-command driving position, and it allows the second row occupants to very comfortably put their feet underneath the front seats. But more importantly, I love what it does for the actual structure of the vehicle. If you've worked with me for very long, you know the term shotgun. I talk about it a lot because I've always thought it was something we did better than just about anybody else. And to that end, guess what? Shotguns appear in this vehicle as well. And now they work with what's called a tripod system. And together, what they allow us to do, again, in a serious frontal or even offset impact, is control the rate of deceleration of the vehicle. Now, this all happens very rapidly, and start to determine where those kinetic masses should go to keep them away from the occupants. And to that end, this tripod, which works right in this area, can determine where to send that energy so it does not transmit in full force to the occupants of the vehicle. Door beams, well, that's certainly a term you know. I should tell you that, unlike man, not all door beams are created equal. There is a different way to do it. And an application of front-wheel drive, here's a safety detail a lot of people, perhaps even some companies, would not have thought about: a collapsible drive shaft. If you're going to have a big motion come into the vehicle, you don't need the drive shaft joining in the interior, now do you? So guess what? A collapsible drive shaft. We've also got a really slick collapsible steering column. Literally, if there's a big massive impact, we want that steering wheel to stay put. Remember, it's going to deliver the airbag to you, so we want it to stay there. So we designed literally the steering shaft to collapse at a specific rate. That said, Ford's personal safety system remains one of the most sophisticated and, I think, in-depth packages available in the market today. Now, of course, everyone can't wait to talk about the 6 different airbags in the vehicle. Of course, we've got 2 frontal bags in the dashboard area, one on the steering wheel, one on the dash. Of course, now, as standard equipment, we also have them deployed from the front seats in terms of side impact. And to add to that, guess what? Standard equipment on the '08 Taurus, we now have standard roof rail airbags as well. See what I mean? Safety is a conclusion. Now, on the proactive side, and certainly the posture I would like to take because I think it's equally important, is standard traction control. Standard traction control. In terms of proactive safety, I'm a big fan of the available all-wheel drive. Clearly a proactive safety feature. Standard tire pressure monitoring, and I might add, one of the first companies to really start to put that across its product lines. I think it's now awesome. And of course, and this is worth paying attention to, and particularly in the state of California where it is now a law, new for '08, available with wiper-activated headlamps. What we're talking about is states are starting to mandate if you turn your wipers on, your headlights must come on at the same time as well. So there's a lot going on here when you think about the available traction control, of course, available advanced track. Talk about adding stability to a vehicle. Like I said, you start adding up all the safety features, there's as much to talk about here as there is automobile. Like I said, you can't bolt safety on, you've got to build it in.